Free Cheese, episode 515. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
Hey.
Matt Selner. Hello. The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. We're going to continue building the list. Not Geo Corsi's hashtag the list for the PlayStation Vita. Rest in peace. But thefreecheese.com/the list. This week, we're adding Capcom's Street Fighter 6 to the list. Talk more on that later. I want to know, Matt, Mark, before playing Street Fighter 6, what was your favorite fighting video game?
Smash.
Oh.
I forget that could be an answer.
Many would say it can't. I'm not voting one way. I'm just telling you what I've heard on the internet.
Is that Evo? It counts.
That's kind of my definition.
Yeah.
Even though Nintendo doesn't want it there, they do nothing to help that community. Anyway,
True.
I don't know. It's like a toss up. I don't think I necessarily love the mechanics, or there's anything in love with the last Mortal Kombat game besides just the story mode. And I guess I could say that across the last 3 of them. I don't even think I played all through MKX, even that story mode. But I don't know, probably the one I spent the most time with was Tekken 3 as a kid. Yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. Now, of course, that was a time when you bought a game, you had to stick with it because that wasn't your money, that was mom's money. So I kind of forced my hand into that. But I had a good bit of fun with Tekken 3.
Yeah, if we're talking like, I guess for me, because I mean, I am a Street Fighter fan. If I'm just talking Street Fighter games, like before this one, I think my favorite probably was. I know Third Strike is a popular one, and I like that for its own reasons. But I think Alpha 3 was where I probably felt more into it.
Yeah.
Very high speed.
We'll get into this. I'm new to the franchise, but I thought I heard good things about Street Fighter the movie, the game, as well.
I
don't.
It's it has a cult following.
That was kidding. That was a joke.
People like
funny enough, it's actually like, in terms of a proper fighting game, it sucks. But if you just want to have a game to have fun, it's actually not a bad game. Believe it or not.
This will tell you which side I came from, but Injustice 2 was my answer before this game. It just kind of finally did everything I was looking for in a fighting game. Like, I cared about the characters in other fighting games, but like, I also have that whole history with DC and comics, so
nothing else. I
thought Injustice 1 was cool, but Injustice 2, I think just like the character models looked so much better, the fighting system was cooler, it was just like a fully fledged version of that, and I'm really disappointed that Mortal Kombat 1 is not Injustice 3. So we'll see how the future goes. But yeah, that Injustice 2 was definitely...
That was a game I definitely wanted to put more time into and just didn't.
It's never too late, Mark.
Yeah, no. We're in this episode. There's no turning back.
All right. You're right. We are in this episode to discuss Street Fighter 6, developed by Capcom, published by, can you guess? Capcom. Released for nearly everything. PC, Xbox Series S and X, but not Xbox One. PS4, PS5. June 2nd was your first date of release, 2023. I tried really hard to find a picture of a physical box of this game and subsequently the reverse panel of it. The best I got were pictures of everybody's cool Gamer Boy setups that they posted to the Best Buy customer images, the that they uploaded themselves. It's like them holding a picture of the front of the box with their Best Buy receipt and then all of the underglow that you could possibly ever buy. So I just pulled this from Street Fighter 6's website, and it says, with Street Fighter 6, players will be able to take their skills around the world in search of their own personal strength. No one starts off as a champion. Even the strongest of fighters had to take that first step. Now it's your turn to take up the challenge and bring your game to the next level. This is like publisher description of the game. Here comes Capcom's newest challenger. Street Fighter 6 launches worldwide on June 2nd, 2023, and represents the next evolution of the Street Fighter series, which has sold more than 47 million units since its debut 35 years ago. Powered by Capcom's proprietary RE engine, Street Fighter 6 spans 3 distinct game modes, including Fighting Ground, World Tour, and Battle Hub. The experience also includes innovative new gameplay features, plus enhanced visuals for every aspect of the game. Mark, you nominated this for our list, but of course, you already had a pick for the month, The Darkness. So why did this get added to the list as our little bye-week selection?
I think it was just good timing. Probably a little biased in it as well, but this was my most anticipated game of the year, and so far, probably my current game of the year. Contender. So yeah, there's just a lot of good going for it, and to retread old ground of what I've said before, it was a long time coming, and it's finally here, and I just wanted to celebrate that.
Yeah, I think it worked out perfectly. I almost wanted us to squeeze it in last month, but I wanted a bit more time with it, and I think, yeah, we had everything locked in anyway. But yeah. So, Matt, you mentioned this is your first Street Fighter, but what about fighting games in general? Outside of Tekken 3, what's your history look like?
Not my favorite genre, not my go-to. I mentioned the recent slate of Mortal Kombat games. I really just, I play through the story mode, and when I play through them, I play on easy, just because I just think the story is dumb in the best way possible, so I just want to see it. If something, if like a Friday night pizza party, a fighting game's out and about, and no one's picking up a controller, like, I'll get my ass handed to me, because I usually don't know any of the systems or whatever, but, I'll try to be that guy that figures out how to throw a fireball and keep doing it from the corner to see if you can figure out how to beat me. And then once plan A goes down, I go to plan B, which is to grab as much as I can all the time. And then let me tell you what, I know I got those 2 advanced strategies, but once you get your way around those, there's not much here when it comes to me and fighting games.
You forgot the third strategy, sweep the leg.
Oh, you see, I didn't do that. I don't block. I don't sweep the legs. I don't really uppercut except in Mortal Kombat. I just go for grabs and fireballs.
Would you say that Mortal Kombat is kind of the foundation of your fighting game knowledge?
Probably. It's honestly probably more Tekken, because I played much more Tekken. I think that was first. Because around that time, that's like Deadly Alliance and things like that. And I wasn't really playing those.
Do you block in Tekken?
Yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm. Not can you, do you?
In that one, I was probably, because I was actually learning that game. I'm not going to say I'm very good at it, but I at least know a couple combos. And I don't just match with Eddie. I do know a couple proper combos with him.
I'm asking because I came from Mortal Kombat, and I feel like there's never a huge emphasis on blocking in Mortal Kombat. There probably should be, but I feel like growing up and playing that, it was always just like attack, attack, attack. Probably playing it very wrong, but I think all of those bad habits, it took me a long time I still am terrible at blocking in Street Fighter. So spoiler alert, if you fight me, I'm not going to block. I'm just going to keep going for the offense. Yeah, Mark, what about you? Kind of grew up with Street Fighter, and you reached around the periphery of fighting games generally as well, right?
Yeah, I enjoy fighting games. I haven't played them in a while, so like 6 is kind of my foray back. But But
What
yeah,
was the last one you feel like you got serious into?
I tried to get serious with 5, but it just wasn't happening for some reason. It was like between that and Dragon Ball Fighters, Fighter Z or whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to get good at both of them, but I just wasn't quite there. So I think Street Fighter 4 was the last one I was actually kind of serious with.
Dang. And you liked the 3DS version on that one too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
No,
So sorry.
No, yeah, it's just Street Fighter's been there with me probably ever since the Super Nintendo. So so I've always had like a affinity for it, and just that spread my appreciation for fighting games in general. There's not too many that I haven't played. I guess more so now that list has kind of gotten a little bigger. But I usually stick to like the bigger ones. I'll try to play like the Tekken, Mortal Kombat here and there, and I obviously Street Fighter. But anyone's outside of that, I haven't touched in a while. Like the Guilty Gear, I haven't touched in a while. Virtual Fighter, I would like to go back into stuff like that. But yeah, no, I've always liked Street Fighter. Has always been my core.
So 6 follows 5. No surprise there. But 5 was a weird entry. 5 feels like it almost shouldn't have happened. The way that it was a PlayStation 4 exclusive and PC as well, but like it just
had a lot going against it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the black sheep of the series. I think it would eventually find its footing appropriately.
Yeah.
It just launched in such a weird state, and it had, I think, not the worst of last generation's tendencies applied to it with like the fight money and all this stuff, but like it sort of pulled in those things, and they're not fully gone now either. But it just 5 was a weird one, I think, to start. Yeah. At its core, the fighting was there, and it felt good to fight, but it just didn't really have an identity. It didn't have it had an audience for sure. But like, it was not at Evo the year, right? Wasn't there something along those
Dragon
lines?
Ball, I think Dragon Ball was the one that took it by his horns. The main stage.
Yeah, I think it maybe hung on for, maybe it did debut, but I remember like Dragon Ball definitely kicked it off main stage for that one year, which was just weird. That just didn't happen with Street Fighter. I think Capcom felt that and knew that, and by the tail end of the DLC for Street Fighter V, you sort of started to get a taste of what they were building for 6. And then 6 gets officially unveiled or announced last February in 2022. Right. And then, we get the road to release here over the last little bit. And yeah, it's out on everything at the same time with crossplay, which has been lovely because you can kind of always find someone to fight. I think what we'll talk about, there's different modes in this game. There's new characters and there's a new fighting system within. But to start, let's look at the characters. So we bring back some old faces. And they are, old because we're the furthest forward in the Street Fighter timeline that we've ever been. So all the characters are older. Returning characters, finally. You have Ryu, Chun-Li, Guile, Juri, Ken, Blanca, Dalsim, E Honda, DJ, JP, Zangief, and Cammy.
JP is not. He's new.
No, yeah, JP's new. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like the original World Warriors plus Juri. And I think that's it.
And then newcomers, JP, Lily, Marissa, Manon, Kimberly, Jamie, and Luke. Although Luke did debut as the final Street Fighter V DLC character.
Yeah. And he looked different, too. His hair was weird.
Damn, he went from DLC to cover boy?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was the thing. Well, like, they were like, yeah, we want him to... They already knew he was going to be the main character for the next game. That's why.
Damn, cover boy without even an appearance?
DLC was the ad for it. So that was the campaign for Luke.
The thing, I kind of hope that... Because we also... Luke was, you know, hey, we get this character who's going to be in the next Street Fighter game as our final DLC character, but we also got Rival Schools character as DLC in 5. And I kind of hope that it's not the end of us seeing Rival Schools, but...
Yeah, I hope that and another Capcom franchise comes back from the dead.
Yeah. Yes. All right, so we've established characters. We've established some of the new ones. Who are you playing? Who is your character in this game? Matt?
Manon.
Ah, yeah, okay.
My French ballerina.
Yes. Mark, how about you?
Ken is my classic go-to. But I think for new characters, I have enjoyed Lily the most, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I in 5, because 5 was the first Street Fighter I really took seriously. I learned Chun-Li, and then I went backwards to 3 and was able to thankfully apply a lot of that Chun-Li knowledge backwards to 3.
Yeah, she's my second in command.
Yeah,
sure.
Well then that's the weird thing. In 6, I did not touch her at all for the first however many hours I played.
Oh wow.
I did one match as her, and then I was like, let me try something else out. So I'd also played a bit as Jury in 5, but it didn't click here. So I jumped to Lily, and Lily really clicked this time around. So I did Lily for like the first half of playing. Now I've switched back, and I'm bouncing between Lily and Chun-Li. And I'm trying to figure out who I want to learn next, and I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, how about you guys? Is there someone you're looking at that you'd like to learn?
For the memes, Zangief.
That, yeah.
No, probably someone like Kimberly or Yori or Cammy, some kind of like light rush character, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think you would like Cammy. She's pretty good. In Street Fighter 4, I liked playing as Dao Sim.
Mm-hmm.
I like poking and teleporting and then just annoying the opponent. I don't know if I'll go back to him this time around. So I think like I want to get better with a charge character because I don't really play a lot of those, and like Chun-Li's kind of a hybrid, so that's like a good foray into it. But I wanted to go back to my roots, and I want to go with Blanca. Blanca was my first favorite character.
Blanca is a full mark character.
especially if you're holding in, I forgot what the button is for the counters or whatever. He's just he's just twerking.
That's great. Yeah.
Oh, his dry parry.
Yeah. It's great.
So the drive parries and the drive system is new in this game. It's kind of just like your set meter. This, you're able to use it for drive arts, overdrive, drive parries. What is there a fourth?
Drive impact.
Drive impact. Yes, thank you. But it all pulls from 1 meter that is 8 across, or
6.
10?
6.
No, is it
6?
Okay, I thought you were working with a much larger pool. So yeah, I guess the big easy one to do is, and I'm gonna speak in PlayStation terms here, so hang with me. But R1, R2 is your drive impact, right?
No,
yes.
L1's. Oh, I'll pause. I'll let you all finish.
Right, because we don't know if you have
Uh-huh.
different button configurations or
Uh-huh.
what have you. So basically, your heavy punch and kick would be the drive impact.
Yeah, whatever you're doing for that is drive impact, which is sort of this like stylish kind of, I don't know what to call it, like an interrupt.
Basically, it's
Yeah, like a hard counter kind of thing, because it has armor on it.
Yeah,
it kind of equates to the focus attack you would do in 4
yeah.
and I guess 5.
But you also use that same meter for overdrive. So, speaking from Chun-Li's perspective, you have, say, the spinning bird kick, right? You do that by holding down, and then you push up, and any kick. If you do that same move, but instead of just a single kick, you do 2 kicks. So light, medium, hard, whatever. You'll do an overdrive move, where she kind of, with the spinning bird kick, she'll kind of do extra hard and longer kicks.
Or like the EX moves, yeah.
Yes. You also can run out of meter, and when you do, you are left in a sort of dazed state, and if your opponent takes advantage of that, they can really kind of knock you into a what do you call it? Like there's
It's a
specific
stun.
name for it.
That one's stun.
Yeah.
I can't remember the actual term for the cool off. I can't remember what it's called though.
And then you have, separate from that, there's another meter for super arts. So this charges from 0, 1, 2, 3, and then critical. Is it critical? That's the name of it?
That sounds right.
Yes, critical arts is the one with your when you're low health, your yellow bar.
Yes. Every character has their own kind of special move set tied to the super arts. And each of those, again, like level 1, 2, 3, it's a different button input or combination, and it burns that amount of meter. They're not guaranteed hits. You still need to be, depending on your character, depending on your move, you still need to be in a position where they can be landed. And they're not all, they don't break through blocks like a drive impact would, for example. This can be blocked, or these can be blocked. So they're not a be-all, end-all. In addition to the drive system, the new characters, the game has 3 major modes out of the gate: World Tour, Battle Hub, and Fighting Ground, which we're going to jump into each of those in depth here in a moment. But the other big piece is the game has now introduced modern and dynamic control schemes to complement the classic control scheme. So the classic is still 3-tiered punch and kick, light, medium, heavy. You're doing traditional quarter circle, half circle, etc. circle input moves for a lot of these combos and button combinations. But the modern control scheme, Matt, you might do a better job of explaining it than me, but yeah, go ahead. I'm just going to cut to you because I don't.
Yeah, I am using the modern control scheme. It is nominated by light, medium, and heavy attacks with no buttons mapped to kicking or punching specifically. Triangle is a shortcut to all those specials that you all quarter circle or whatever the hell you guys do. I can just hit triangle or a triangle and a arrow, except for up. And it maps to a special move. Your drive parry, and your drive impact. Drive parries map to R1, drive impacts to L1, throw to L2, and then I have a special. It's called an assist button. If you hold an R2 and you mash, either light, medium, or heavy, it gives me an assisted combo that's mapped into the character. And it will perform various some kind of various combo where it can include overdrives or not include overdrives. And then also, if you hold in R2 and hit triangle with any of the special moves, that's how you pull off your overdrive special moves.
So I'd always kind of, in my head, imagine them like Smash controls. Do you feel like that when you're playing? Like, kind of direction and input?
With the special moves, yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit more because you have to incorporate your overdrives and you pull the trigger or whatever. But yeah, no, I can see how you feel like that.
And then, go ahead, Mark.
I was just gonna say that if anyone is familiar with Tekken 7 and you do that story mode, there is like an assist thing where you just hold down a button and then depending what face button you're doing, you do like a little combo or like a signature move. It's just right there without having to do the whole input. It kind of reminds me of that.
And then dynamic controls are different entirely. Have either of you checked those out?
No,
I have not.
No.
I thought there was only the two.
You can only pick the two for rank, but you can pick dynamic. I saw on World Tour. So I'm like looking at it on the website on the fly here, but it's like an auto attack thing. It doesn't seem to be.
Oh, okay.
It seems to be real assisted. I don't know. I don't know in the dynamic set.
I think it lets you kind of flow in and out of classic and modern depending on what type of fight you're in.
Oh,
I mean that would make sense given the name.
Yeah.
So probably
here in very small asterisks in the dynamic control section. This control type is limited to certain modes in Fighting Ground. Dynamic type cannot be used in online matches. Attack options other than auto attack are available. So it is a very heavily assisted thing to help you with World Tour or arcade mode or whatever. I don't know how it works, but that's they're literally when you go to Street Fighter's website and you click on modern and classic, there is this whole mapping like image, and then you click dynamic. It's just X, square, and circle auto attack. So
it's probably something like Tekken 7 where you can like hold in the button to do the whole simple version, or you can still do your inputs if you want to without having to go to a menu and flip the mode or something.
That makes sense.
That's cool.
So let's talk. It's funny. I don't know. I don't know if I want to. I'll just say it. I feel like the game emphasizes World Tour a lot. I feel like they push it as the premier experience of Street Fighter 6. This is what they want you to play. And I feel like that because you're kind of thrown right into making an avatar right away, and 2 of the 3 main menu items emphasize use of that avatar. World Tour, you're playing as your avatar, and Battle Hub, you are wandering around as your avatar. So it seems very much like they want you to play that. But if you go to the website and you're looking at like modes, it's Fighting Ground is the leading thing they list there. They describe it, in depth, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know, when I was kind of blocking out how we would talk about the game, I led with World Tour because I thought that's how they would, right? It's also left to right. It's on the left side. Although I guess in Japanese, right? Whatever. But let's start. I'm going to start with World Tour. So World Tour is described by Capcom as an immersive single-player story mode. So going into World Tour, what did you expect? Or in the case of Mark, what did you dream up that this mode would be 10 years ago? Mark, let's start with you. What did you think
Yeah,
what would it
like
be?
I forget what episode it was where I made that prediction, and I was a little off timeline wise. I think it was like a year off or something like that. But yeah, like I just wanted to. I think I wanted World Tour originally. I thought you were going to take the role of one of the pre-existing fighters, possibly Ryu or something, and go through like their own legit campaign that is more built upon than just an arcade mode. Like you actually go to visit to each country, you fight that, the designated fighter that with each area, and it just follows Ryu's path. I thought it was going to be something like that, and we got kind of close. There is a story. It involves you, like your character that you create is actually pivotal, and yeah, you're just you kind of you go around and just learning different moves and yeah, seeing this 20-ish hour story through because I feel like they had to make up for Street Fighter V's lack of.
Yeah, because that did not. That eventually got like some sort of story-ish or the arcade mode, but yeah, not.
Yeah, it didn't launch with a story mode or like a single like a campaign, and then when they did, it was rough.
Matt, what about you? Going into this, what did you expect World Tour to be?
I kind of had zero expectations because I wasn't really watching much press on this game. I kind of got the idea talking with you guys. It is very much like an open world run around. And then the day came out. Because again, this is a fight. I knew I had to play for the podcast, and I was already going to buy it, right? But like, well, we'll get into it when we get into Fighter Ground. But that day on TikTok, I saw a snippet of someone playing World Tour, and they went up and just punched a random stranger on the street, and I laughed so hard when I saw that happen, and that's a thing you could do in World Tour. And I was instantly in on the notion of World Tour. And then that night, I had the most fun ever, giggling like a little child, going and pumping my arm in the air to engage in a fight with someone on the street. Businesswoman in high heels, let's fight. Sumo wrestler, let's fight. Hey, you over there, level 6, you're dancing like an asshole. Let's fight. Hey, I don't like the way you look. Let's fight. I don't even think I accomplished any objectives. I would just run around the little area that I was allowed to run around, just fighting all these level 2 assholes. But yeah, no, I had that to say I had zero expectations until I saw one TikTok that day that gave me all the hope that I needed for this mode to be exactly what I wanted it to be.
I'm glad it was that simple.
So with that, how has it shaped up? Have either of you finished World Tour?
No, I kind of ran out of steam a little bit. I don't know, Mark, if you did.
No, I didn't finish it. I want to, but yeah, I even think as much as I appreciate this mode, I think it's a little too much.
It's long. Where did you get to? Well, Joe, did you?
No, I did not like World Tour, so I stopped playing it pretty early on. And then
it's a rough beginning.
Huh?
It's a very rough beginning.
Yeah.
Because it makes you do so much tutorial that you don't want to do. And
so
it's very handholdy.
That's why I think I like World Tour so much. Not because it was handholdy, but a lot of the side, like when you go pursuing the side missions or whatever, a lot of them are more of the advanced techniques. And it's kind of like that it was like hey, let's take some time and learn this for 2 minutes. And then it processed. I
liked it when you first make your character, and then Luke's like, hey, do these things. Or wherever. But then you got to do it again with the pink-haired girl. but it's separated into like 5 different things where I just gotta jump a lot or I gotta block
Yeah.
a lot. It's like, I just did this with Luke, dude. Like, what are you doing?
I think so. Listeners, you can go check out my review on the website. Numbers wise, I'm really high on this game. I'm pretty sure that ranking wise, we're going to be pretty high on this game overall. But I don't like World Tour at all. But I love that it's there for people who want it to be there. And I think that's why I like Street Fighter 6 so much, is that for the first time in not just Street Fighter history, but I think in a video game franchise, a big daddy TM video game franchise, a developer said, what do you want? And they have an answer for everybody, right? Like they did what everybody wanted. They've got something for people who've never played a fighting game before. They've got something for people who will never play a fighting game again. You know, like it's the kind, I'm not going to say it's as far as like Pokemon was into tricking us all into playing RPGs for the first time, but it kind of, I mean, it's getting a lot of people to play fighting games that never would have played a fighting game otherwise. And I think World Tour, it also, you know, does a great job at paying homage to not just Street Fighter's history, but Capcom's history with fighting games. There's so many little Easter eggs and references and stuff. But I think for me, it just, the fighting, because your character, you slowly level up and you earn more moves and you can mix and match moves of mentors. I'm being like quick on that. Please feel free to dive into that if you want to talk about that more. But, you know, for me, I'm going into this game like, well, I want to play that character and that character's moves and the slow adoption of those things. And like Matt and I were talking about the other week and you were like, yeah, I'm at like 15 hours in and I just got Drive Arts or whatever. And it was like, yeah, man, no. Yeah. Like there's a lot of that stuff that like, I just want to get in and play the game. And I felt like I wasn't able to do that in World Tour. And then the other side of World Tour I didn't love is just the way you move through the world. Like, to Matt's point, going and uppercutting somebody or doing a spinning bird kick to somebody in the middle of the street and just initiating a fight is stupid and fun and whatever. But the whole, like, construction of that, it feels like PlayStation Home. Like, the world you run through is so... It's like... I don't know the word to call it, but it just, yeah, it feels like let's build an online experience for the mid 2000s and have it be a thing. I don't know. It's like impressive that it works as well as it does, but it also like, it's not this like full-fledged.
I think the flaw with that is they tried to make Metro City like the hub world. And then you keep going in and out to different countries. But when you go to those different areas, it's just like literally one little area that you can't explore. Yeah. It's just you go left to right, talk to 5 people, and then go back to Metro City.
Go back, yeah.
And you're just repeating that to meet every character. And it's like, sure, maybe that's a good way to like try to fully introduce you to each character and how they play and everything. But at the same time, it's like it feels like they lost focus at some point on how they wanted this game to be. And it was like, maybe they started with Metro, but then when it got to these other places, it's like, oh, well, I don't know.
So I would actually say that when I first opened that world map menu and I saw the amount of question marks, and I was like, oh no, because I thought they all were a hub ground. So I was kind of thankful. I'm not saying that they all should be this, like, you walk in a small little circular area and there's like 4 people to talk to, maybe 3 that actually uppercut in motion. But I was relieved to see that I didn't have to go through 10 open zones. I'll borrow Sonic's terminology here, and explore and do missions and side quests and stuff. But granted, there could have been a third, because there is a second world open area, and that even goes out farther as you go into the world tour. But yeah, maybe for a third one and go in between the two a little bit more often, because once you start transitioning to the second one, you're kind of in the second one. Like, that's your new permanent Metro City.
Yeah. And I think, like, the way they have the characters set up, how it's all just, like, randomized creations, that that approach never feels world building to me. It just feels kind of like, all right, yeah, here you go. Like it has no purpose, has no meaning to me. Versus like legit created characters, like established already. You know what I mean? Like they were, like Ryu and all them. Like it actually, if it was just more about that and less about sucker punching civilians, I think it would be a little more impactful as a single player thing. But that's just me, and that's my personal taste. I don't mind what it is or how it is now. Like once you're in it, like you're in it, and you don't really think about a lot of that stuff. You're just going point A to point B, and then you get so high leveled that a lot of people don't even try to fight you anymore. They kind of run away from you. So that kills a lot of the problem for me in the long run. I just hate that it takes so long to get to those points. So I don't mind this world tour. I do wish it was like a 5-hour experience versus like a 20-hour one. I think that's my only gripe.
I wish there was. Long. I think my biggest gripe is I wish there was either more like, because there's a couple areas of this world tour where it feels like you're dungeon crawling a little bit, and I kind of started to like those areas some. They get repetitive because of the enemy types that they're using. They're not necessarily humans at this point, which gets a little annoying. But I kind of dug those, and then I wish there was more tournaments. Like you kind of built up, and I figure it's like, all right, this is the slow ramp. There's a novice league tournament, and then like, all right, we're gonna go into some other tournament. And then it's like a big gap until like the next time we're actually doing like proper like Street Fighter against some characters, like not the actual characters, but like some purposed side characters or whatever. And in about 15, I don't know my hour count in it anymore. It's probably close to like 15. But like I've only been in like 2 tournaments. I'm on the verge of joining a third one, but I feel like I'm still a few missions away.
There's a lot of fat to chew on in this, and I think that's what I think holds some of it back, in my opinion.
But to that point, I think the fat's for me, who's learning the game, because everything is useful. And I don't say that a lot about side missions, but every kind of side mission, besides like doing the perfect KO, like those are just challenges or whatever. But like a lot of those are like teaching you the drive impacts and teaching you how to parry and perfect parrying, and they'll do it repeatedly, like it would be in a training, like in the training room or fighting ground or whatever. But it's like forcing me practically to do it here and not letting me, like I said, side stuff, but I'm not letting myself advance. It's like I kind of learn and not master, but at least obtain a good grasp of how to perform that mechanic or skill.
I agree.
So do you feel like it is teaching you more?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think with what I said, like, oh, when do I get my meter, right? It made me learn, oh shit, I should probably block at some point in this game. I should learn my combos with light, medium, and my special attacks a little bit. And then, like, again, master is a tough ask in this game, but at least I got a good handle on it. Now I'm ready for the next step.
Do you think you'll finish World Tour?
I think I'll eventually go back.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I will say, as a fair, I guess like a PSA about World Tour, it kind of ties into the rest of the modes in the game. So, like, yes, there's more than one way to acquire items. For example, alternate costumes for all of the fighters.
Could you explain this to me? Because I still can't figure out a way to do it besides spending more money.
Right.
For
and honestly,
World Tour.
You're going to want to spend the money, and it sucks that you would rather do that than actually earning it legitimately. To earn it legitimately in World Tour, you have to get like the highest rank relationship with each of the mentors to unlock that costume. So you have to give them constantly gifts until you can't anymore. And there's like 50 ranks to that?
not the actual like ranking to get their special moves, but like the likability meter thing.
Yes.
Oh, it's that one. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
It should be the other way around.
I maxed out a character, and what they let you do with that is kind of cool. With transferring experience, but
they should just let you go through arcade mode and get it that way. That is a much shorter time for all that work just to get that one thing. It's not worth it. It's not worth the time.
But to Matt's point, once you rank up someone to the full, you said you can then transfer that experience.
But that's for the combat level of that character, not for the likability. So
likability is you grinding for gifts.
Yeah, Manon, I like maxed out. I even did her 2 like character specific missions or whatever. And yes, I can transfer that fighting experience to other characters, so I can attain their special moves or what without having to be like play as their fighting style. But no, her likability, I'm probably like maybe 2.5 stars out of 5 or whatever. Is it stars or hearts? I can't remember. I think it's stars.
I think it's stars.
Yeah, but like I'm all the way up plus some, and I'm only 2.5 stars because I haven't really been doing gifts.
Yeah. So, and then you have to find the right gifts that get you the most boost out of it.
Right.
So trying to learn how to min-max that, it's not worth the time at all to do this with how many characters in this roster?
Dude.
It's a lot.
Is it 16 or more than 16?
4.
I don't know why my mind went to 24, 16, but it's probably
18,
less than that.
18 out of the box.
18. So yeah, like I'm not going to do that just to get all these alt costumes. I'm just so I forked up the money because I didn't even know you could get it any other way. I thought you only had to buy it, and then I learned after the fact I was better off buying it anyway because I'm too impatient for that.
I'm just not going to do either, and then never have them. So like, but there's also there's 2 currencies in the game. Maybe there's more, but 2 I can think of.
I think it's 2.
There's one with an F, and then another one.
I assume that's
purple?
fight money.
Yeah.
Or fighter points or something like that.
Yeah, it's like the teal fighter points, and then the purple something or other. And the purple one is the one you get by doing the challenges. Mm-hmm. So there's like, I don't know, like the other day I was practicing combo tutorials, and I was like, after I got done the tutorial, I went back or character guide or something like that. It was like, hey, you did the character guide. I don't know. I don't pay attention to the little rewards, whatever, but I have a bunch of the purple stuff, whatever that currency is. So at some point I was like, can I turn that purple into the teal and then buy the stupid costume? No, you can't do that. Purple is purple, teal is teal, and teal is real dollars that you spend. And I hate that. I hate that there's a battle pass in this game. I think that sucks.
To be fair, though, I don't even know where to find the battle pass at. I went looking for it one time, too.
I think it's in the battle hub.
And maybe it's time to move into the battle hub. Which I think I don't like the battle hub either. Here we go.
I think I went into the battle hub for 30 seconds to see if the battle pass was in there, and that was it.
I think that's where I spent most of my time outside of creating a character. So like sadly I've only put like 15 hours into this game, and mind you, 8 of that was making a character.
Right, correct.
I'm not exaggerating. Yeah, it took me because I was like tweaking and going back and refixing, and like hopped in World Tour for a little bit, but then most of my time was in the battle hub playing with friends, and just trying to understand that and learn that took some time in itself. And like trying to like, all right, how do we fight each other? And it's like, oh, you have to hop onto an arcade machine, and that's how you initiate the fight. And it's like, it took me forever to figure that out. I thought they were just there just to play the old school games.
Yeah, and so Battle Hub for that, what you just described, like hanging out with your actual friends, meeting up there virtually, I think I would do that. If we all signed on and it was like, hey, let's go to the Battle Hub and find each other, and that I could get behind. But right now, all I get is a huge room of people who are jumping or all standing in a section.
Everyone's freaks.
And then if you go around to arcade machines, you have to wait so long to actually find a fight more often than not, right? Like there's just so many there's usually people are fighting in a cabinet, and then I have done it where I sat down at a cabinet and just waited to see if someone would come and fight me. No one would fight me.
Did you ever spectate theirs and hop in that rotation?
I've done it twice, maybe.
Okay.
But then it just feels like I'm spending less time playing the game than I would if I just turned on ranked matches in the menu and jumped right into it.
Oh, yeah.
In Battle Hub, are you playing as your avatar?
You walk around as your avatar, but you have to go through a menu and pre-pick your character that you're going to play as in the matches.
Yeah. Oh, much like rank.
And
okay.
that's... Or you can set ranked, casual, whatever. In fact, the menu is identical to what you have in Fighting Ground when you go to select, enabling ranked and casual stuff. But that's the thing. Like, I feel like the menu sucks so much. There's like two different menus, and one's a cell phone, but one's not. But I don't know. It took me, I think, a solid 2 weeks of having the game to figure out how to add you as friends, and I still am not friends with Mark in the game.
Well, I've only played it that one day, unfortunately. I haven't been back since the weekend that I spent with it. So I probably have the request, and I just didn't accept it yet.
No. I never found you at all.
Oh.
When I search for what I assume your name is in the game, I can't find you at all. Now, I'm a little forgiving in that regard because you're playing on PC, I'm on PlayStation, so I don't expect to be able to easily find you. But Matt and I are both on PlayStation. I should be able to pull up a thing that says, here's your list of PlayStation friends, here's who's playing Street Fighter 6, send a friend request.
Oh, did you search for Girth Brooks?
Is that who you are in this? Because I did not.
No, it's not.
But I searched for Matt's standard username, and I did not know this. Matt, you may not know this. There's a lot of people who have a very similar username to yours, even down to the numbers. I think I eventually got you, or there's another person who I think.
No, I'm in. I'm in.
Okay,
I have a hoodie.
Yeah, a lot of the menu navigations is very strange. I don't know why it couldn't be as simple as Street Fighter 4 online, where it's all right. You connect with somebody, there's a lobby, you go into a match, and then you pick your fighter. Whoever you want, you don't have to keep backing out just to pick somebody, just to go back in. I can see them fixing that in the future, but it's very weird navigating between these modes, for sure.
I guess I should read how Capcom describes the Battle Hub. This is a hub where players can meet up, have fun, and establish unforgettable rivalries. Meet up with fighters from around the world. I think the first, it's a neat concept. I mean, it's what Arc System's been doing for all of its games for a while. I think some other fighting games have adopted similar lobby systems. I think it's technically a neat idea that I played with for the first weekend, and now I never go back.
I don't think it should be the only option.
Huh?
I don't think it should be the only option. It should just be like a Street Fighter 4 thing.
I think it is the only option where you can do avatar battles. I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, but you have to specifically go to the center of the whole room to initiate it. I didn't know that. But you can use all your custom moves that you got from World Tour
and mix them. That's cool. Yeah, and I guess as you build your avatar out, you'd want to be able to show it off and have fun and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Battle Hub seems like the spot. But yeah, menu navigation, the Battle Pass stuff that's tied to all of that. None of that is why I came to Street Fighter. But I did come to Street Fighter 4 is Fighting Ground. Described as continuing the tradition of being a genre leader, the pinnacle of fighting games can be found in this mode. With a highly evolved combat system, experience the stunning innovation for yourself. All of the modes found in Street Fighter V can now be found in Fighting Ground. And really what they did with this is they took everything that was good in Street Fighter V, brought it over, and then they added in Battle Hub and they added in World Tour. But Fighting Ground has the arcade mode, it has training, it has combo tutorials, character guides, ranked, casual, just kind of quick menus, local play. What am I forgetting?
I know there's more tiles in that menu, but I think you hit it, the bulk of it.
I think arcade was the first thing I did.
Fighting Ground was the first thing you did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of like I was poking at it, and then I was like, no, I should engage with the Battle Hub. So I did that for that first weekend, but since then it's just been Fighting Ground, turn ranked on, go. Unless I'm like, hey, I need to practice, or I want to try a different character, then I'll swing back and do the combo tutorials and stuff. Which, have you guys played with both of the combo tutorials and the character guides for anyone yet?
No.
The combo trials, yes. I think the character guide, I think it's like a minute long or something. It's like a video.
It kind of like walks you through a menu of like how to play the character and what they're best useful for.
I think I just watched like
the opportunity to.
So I think I was looking for combo, honestly, for like combo trials, and I found the character guide. Did the first one, saw it was a movie. I was like, oh, okay. And then I later that day went to YouTube, was looking for a character guide, and then I found the same movie by mistake. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, that I made it like all the way through one character guide before realizing there were little touchpad prompts that you could hit to like actually try out what they're showing you. But when I was trying to learn Lily for the first time, the character guide was really great at like, here's how to play the character. And then combo tutorials is, here's how to play the character. Like it really lets you drill in and practice the basics of that character while also showing you the basics of Street Fighter, because you're learning how to do canceling and like which moves effectively flow into the one and to the other and that kind of stuff. To me, that's all I need in Street Fighter is like, I think I did do one arcade mode. I'll probably do another one like just in time. I feel like arcade mode, that's just classic fighting game stuff to me. It's just pick a character, go through and fight the rest of the characters. But it's been a ton of fun playing online with people. And like, I like that each character has its own rank. So just because you're good with one, you still have to start from the bottom with the other. And I've been slowly ranking a couple of them up, and then, kind of equal fits of feeling confident and feeling mad. And I don't know, but I feel pretty good overall. In this one, better than I have in not just other Street Fighters, but other fighting games. I feel like I feel more confident with this one than I have other in a long time.
Yeah, I like that they put more focus into the approachability of this one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good step for fighting games in general, because you don't want to deter anybody. You don't want to have this be like a not really a gatekeeping situation, but you really don't want to give off any type of vibe like that to where it's like intimidating to jump into. You want something that can be simple to pick up, challenging to master, probably depending on your control style. Yeah, so I really like that they put a lot of care into that, and especially coming from just having that context of what 5 was and how that started. I think even though this has its blemishes, I think it is a much better start to this. And I think, as we're recording this, there hasn't been any big major updates to this game yet. No new characters have been added or anything. I can only imagine what this game is going to look like towards the end of its, I guess, cycle before the next game comes along. I can only imagine how many improvements have been made, because I think Capcom is definitely more so now in a good point of listening to its to its players.
Yeah, the Capcom of today is much different than the Capcom of Street Fighter 5. Not only, the other thing we can't ignore also is it's not just that Street Fighter's changed, but to that point, Capcom has become Capcom. Like, I know they've always been there, but there was a point where like fighting games were not doing so great just generally as a genre, right? Like 4 was a big return to fighting games being part of the conversation again. But even then, like, Capcom struggled for a bit, and then they started remaking all these Resident Evil games, and things turned around. Where they've got multiple series that are like huge, crazy now. Like between Street Fighter, Monster Hunter, dare I say Exoprimal? But I mean, just between Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, and Resident Evil, that, you know, they don't need to do much more. They're pretty good. But Devil May Cry had a really successful, you know, new entry.
It's that RE
they've got stuff now, and I think that money afforded them the ability to kind of go all into Street Fighter 6. And to your point, I think that this game already came out of the gate really strong and will only get better in time. And it's, again, like, I tried to really emphasize this in my written review, but I just find it fascinating that I really dislike 2/3 of the main menu on this game. But I still think this is an excellent game. And I still think I love that it has those things in this because, again, I didn't learn how to play Street Fighter until 5. Every time I tried, I always got destroyed. People were always better than me, and I never had the opportunity to stop and learn how to play it. And I don't think tutorials were great in old fighting games, but 5 had a really great, the same kind of combo and character guide system that's in 6 was in 5, and that really taught me how to play the game, you know, effectively, and know why I was doing what I was doing, know why I should, like, when to use a heavy kick or that kind of stuff, and I never knew that before. So the fact that this game not only still allows that, but also encourages people to play it with a different control scheme entirely and still be competitive. Because you've moved into ranked now? Like, do you feel like you're still keeping up?
I mean, I'm getting my ass beat, but I in my review, I bring up a game called Dota 2. And this game this is like a new Dota 2 to me. Will I ever be great at this game? Probably not. But do I play it enough where I understand all the rules? I can see my mistakes. I can see why I won a round. Like, I'm seeing it all unfold, and there's this beautiful rock paper scissors to the 7th exponent in ways to get out of or into combos and escape and whatever. But man, I am like all in. I've been playing a lot of Manon. I have not really gone to another character yet, but like I can already see just from playing 1,000 Yuris that like I think I know how to play Yuri without even really playing Yuri. Same with like Cammy and man, I fuck up Zangief, online. I know what they're going to do before they do it, and it's just an easy win now. So that's like great to see after getting my ass handed to me 1,000 times. But no, I'm speaking a different language. I'm watching. At the end of June, there was this CEO major in Orlando. I watched a ton of that on it's like YouTube VODs. I know the language of +2 and -5. Like it's your turn, and I can. Like, and when it's characters I see the combos, like, I see when that dude's about to get punished. That guy probably can see it half a second before I can, but no, like, I'm in it. It's fun to watch, and it's fun to play. And yeah, I'm in moments where I just want to throw a controller through a TV, but I just take a step back, breathe, and just like, all right, I lost because of this time, and it's fun to pick apart this game. In that critical way, and especially for it being so, I think the control scheme thing is the biggest thing for me. I think before playing this game, this is what I wanted to say earlier, but before playing this game, the 6-button, like I'm not playing Mortal Kombat or Injustice or any of these games that have like a 3-button, 4-button setup. Then you're going to tell me this is a 6-button game? I don't think so. But the modern control scheme, while I have seen the sacrifices I make playing with it, at least with Manon, but no, it's competent. It works. I can hold my own, and it makes the game that much easier. And the crazy thing was, I saw a couple people at that major play modern controls. which was wild. It was not like top 8, but it was like top 100.
No, it's still, I mean, my worry about modern controls competitively is that they'd be too predictable for someone playing classic controls, but so are classic controls. You know what I mean? Like,
so
at the end of the day,
the biggest thing in the commentary during those matchups that came up, something I didn't consider, but like in classic controls, I can start to see your quarter circle. Like you crash down, you're about the quarter circle. I just throw a triangle. You can't see that. My reaction times, I don't have to do a whole thing to do my super arts or special arts or whatever they are. Like I just hit triangle and circle together. It's like a throw button, just the other way. I have all these quick, like I'm going to depend more on my reactions, I think. Which, I'm still, I'm getting those down for tells or whatever, but like there's things like that at a very high level where modern controls do have an advantage. And I think the couple times I saw it was like grappling and big heavy characters were I saw like two Zangiefs, like just very like they're gonna pile drive you 3 times and win a round, and it was like modern controls that way. Like I sacrificed some moves for sure. I saw that like top level Manon players doing things. I was like, don't even have a button for that, but I'm competent with some of the other things I'm able to do. And again, I'm not going to ever be like a master rank, platinum rank. I'm going to hang in my silvers, and if I get to gold, that'd be a fun day for me. But I think they have their pros and cons, really.
Yeah, no, I think there's good trade-offs to it. I think that the neat thing about them being there at all is that you can have them. You know what I mean? Like it's
awesome.
Because before it was just like you had to learn this or you were going to be bad forever. And now you can still have fun and enjoy Street Fighter, right? Which is, I think, all the better. So I didn't realize you'd been watching CEO. Are you going to watch Evo this year? Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh yeah. And it's like I feel like even when I was in playing Dragon Ball for a half second, I still didn't know enough. Like this, there's not there is a lot. Let me start by saying there's a lot to learn here, but there's not that much to learn. Like once you kind of get the basis of the drive system, like that is all your options. It's just a matter of how you execute the drive system and then knowing your character's combos. So I'm excited come Evo to watch it and actually it's like Dota. It's like, once I got behind Dota, learned all the characters and mechanics and stuff, it was fun to see a match unfold. In an hour-long context, it's even more satisfying to see it in a 5-minute context.
Oh yeah, and now you can start following individual players, right? Rather than I mean, there's still team, but so Evo, if you're listening to this as we go live, Evo is just 2 weeks out. This year, August 4th through 6th, in person, Las Vegas. And Street Fighter 6 is headlining again. Should be a show. Is there anything in Street Fighter 6 we've not covered yet that either of you wanted to bring to the table before we rank?
Ken has better hair this time.
Hey, I think a lot of people have better hair this time, don't they?
No, I mean, I was real simple to please when it came to this. Like, all I've ever wanted was just a more realistic looking Street Fighter, and where everyone has finally aged. There's a game that takes place after 3 in a timeline, because it's 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6. Yeah.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid.
Right? And I don't know, I just wanted everything to look better, and I was already confident that the game was going to play well. I don't think I've ever really hated any of the gameplay from most of the Street Fighters. That's not really been an issue. I like these mechanics. I like how it's definitely a little more simplistic compared to other ones, but I say that as a good thing. Just how simple it is to pull that stuff off. But like you were saying, it was just knowing when to do all that is the trick. And I really appreciate that. But yeah, just everything. It's a very visually impressive game. Mechanically, it's impressive, and that's really all you need when it comes to it.
I was going to bring up the visuals, not just on the character. I actually do like the way the characters look. I mean, not to say I haven't played Street Fighter, but I've seen, Ken through the years, like in
it's
different
been rough.
characters. But like I like the character designs in this game. Also, I love all the drive, like all besides Perry. Perry just kind of turned blue, but. Like the art on Drive Impact and your Drive Rush, how it's like very all graffitied and whatever. Especially like when you hit your Drive Impact, and it gives you that like second of like all the graffiti flying around and whatever. It's visually stunning, yeah. And yes, you do feel a hole in that DualSense.
Yeah, and this doesn't matter, but it took me a while to realize that when you're playing online, not everyone sees the same backdrop as you. It's random.
You mean like characters in the back, or
no? So like the whole stage is different for everyone, for every viewer. So like if Joe so let's say Joe and I are fighting, and behind me I see England, like Cammy's stage, and he sees Ryu's stage. He on his end probably, and if you're spectating, Matt, you'll probably see Brazil or something.
Oh, so all right, cool. So because I saw
because you set
select
that.
Yeah, you can. I saw you could select the stage, but I thought it was like a preference thing, like in Rocket League.
It's kind of just it's kind of just for you.
Huh, that's cool. I did random because I don't think there's one I
unless
don't like.
Unless it's for you and you and maybe you and your opponent both have the same background, but spectators have a completely different background.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
No, but I could see in the same way that they're piping in the commentary as well, because that's an option in this game too. They've got live commentary like a sports game. Yeah. Have you guys tried that at all?
No, not yet.
It came on by default for me when I did the novice tournament in World Tour.
That makes sense.
And I heard
because they want to introduce it.
What the fuck am I listening to?
Yeah, it
was wild.
It gets annoying because some of the voice samples repeat, so it kind of gets tired.
That's any sports game. This is not. Nope. Madden does it. Yeah. NHL does it. MLB The Show does it. All the best sports games do it. So it's not a.
It's that.
It's okay.
But, just like in NBA 2K, when you just keep trying to take that 1-3 from outside the key and it isn't working, and the commentary tells you this is not working. Like this game is like, I don't know what he was thinking with that one. Like it's very much like giving you real, honest feedback while you're playing, which is nice. In a coaching sense, but I ended up disabling it after just a few matches of trying it out. But yeah, I mean, you can set your commentary, but I could see them the same way they pipe in commentary unique to the player. So you probably could, because I noticed like once I set my preferred stage that it was always giving me that stage and always giving me that background music, and I was like, it's weird that I'm always lucking out, but I bet you, to your point, it just is that for me forever.
And,
that's interesting.
I ended up switching back to random because I wanted variety in the background. But I guess it's neat if you do want to just play in a specific spot.
I know we didn't really, we kind of talked about it, but shout out to that character creator.
It is an impressive character creator.
The things to the celebrities that you can make that are almost pinpoint accurate to the freaks that you can just come up with. And it just lets you do that.
I mentioned TikTok earlier, but yeah, that whole first weekend of when I had Street Fighter 6 rolling through my TikToks, there was some very interesting the ID card and then the actual character reveals. A lot of good ones. The other day I saw a Hank Hill party in the Battle Hub. So
I saw someone make a very like basically spot on Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow.
And they edited the video to he had different outfits and he was doing all these different moves, and it was like
so if
very
you can
impressive.
Do that and someone can make a Ronald McDonald and someone can make a Homer Simpson, then we just have what I first saw when I discovered Mugen way back.
Yeah, right? But this is Capcom flaunting that RE engine. They are so damn proud of it, and they should be. But
honestly, that just makes me more excited for the next Monster Hunter more than anything to see what character creation looks like in that. But
Oh man, yeah.
That's for 2020.
Like, and from here, so Street Fighter for me is checked off the list that they made Mark happy. They accomplished. Like, we're not gonna get Tekken versus Street Fighter what I originally wanted, because that was be the realistic, Street Fighter. I thought that was only going to be the only way to get that. So I'm happy this happened. But now,
yeah, and I think
Darkstalkers is next.
Yeah, I'm curious in the wake of Street Fighter 6 how Capcom handles the rest of its fighting game legacy. Because putting them out in a collection was the first step, right? They're like, can they actually put out a full-fledged fighting game and it not be a finance? Because I think that's the worry, right? Like, will people buy Darkstalkers? And I don't know if the answer is yes.
I have faith it will.
Yeah, you and me would, and maybe now, right? Maybe Street Fighter 6, right? It's the Trojan horse that can get people in, but
True.
I think it's been tough for a long time to make it happen.
And I think it helps that it is in those in the Battle Hub. You can play it.
Yeah, I think that'll get it in front of people who've not seen it before. The final thing I'll say on Street Fighter is that I think, especially, we just talked about commentary and other sports games. I think other sports games, they're still good because they're good, right? They are simulating the sport that they are targeting and they work really well. The problem with other sports games these days is they're so bogged down by all of these meaningless modes that are simply there so that you spend money. And they're just unenjoyable I don't know. Every time I jump into it, I kind of quickly bounce out of any of them because of that. This has two out of 3 main menu items that I don't care about for me as a player, but they're not obtrusive. They're not, or intrusive rather. They're not offensive to me by any stretch of the imagination. Like, the first time I fired up a recent NBA game, it immediately was like, card pack. Here's your free card packs, but make sure you buy more card packs. Also, make sure you make a character so you can go online and buy fake clothes. Like, it's a whole dumb thing. The last time I tried a story mode in a 2K game, I'm not exaggerating, the first game that you step foot on the court, or not story mode, it was the first time I did an exhibition round. One of the in-game commentators was talking to she was the side court, they're cutting to her to do the whatever. And she's talking to the game commentators about NFTs and how these non-fungible tokens are not going to be trying to make them sound like a good thing. And I'm like, boy, 2K, you're really laying it on thick. I don't want to play this game. It took me out of the basketball experience entirely, right? Mm. And I haven't played Madden, but hearing from Matt what Madden and NHL have done year over year, and even though MLB The Show was the one that was kind of the holdout as whatever, it seems like they've also gone way far into the card pack stuff to an extent as well. My point being that this is able to still do something that reaches multiple audiences, and then audiences within those audiences have different things they can glob onto here, and still at the end of the day, you can go do what you want to do. If someone hates the idea of doing arcade mode, they never have to. They can just go play World Tour. If someone hates World Tour, they can just do ranked matches or casual match or whatever you want to do. I think that's really, really effective.
I concur.
You want to rank it?
Not really.
All right. Watch that mouse, Mark. Okay, you're for the listener at home who's not a part of the shared document. What do you know?
Honestly, it was just my finger scrolling.
I know.
But
I just see where Mark's
now it's intentional.
List here. I'm definitely in this range.
How do
for the listeners at home?
How do I not have anything up?
I've highlighted between Pikmin 3, Sin and Punishment, Res Infinite, and Downwell, which for me, I'm landing somewhere around the top 10, maybe not quite cracking the top 10, but right in there somewhere. What are you guys thinking?
Well, we're highlighting spots.
I wasn't trying to. I'm trying to not do it now. But I don't know how to not do it.
I highlighted the spots for Resident Evil 4, Sonic Frontiers, and Portal 2, which would be very close, if not in the top 5. Now, I will say this. I am, one, new to the franchise, so I don't know what series beefs are being carried over throughout. And two, I am also brand new to the fighting game genre, for real, and the way I'm been attacking this one. And I don't know what qualms or common griefs other fighting games have that may carry on here too that I'm not aware of. But saying that, I'm willing to come down. But I think this is a very good game that is approachable but incredibly hard to master.
Yeah, and I think, like, to my point of something for everybody, I think that even the hardest of hardcore Street Fighter people should be very happy with this game. I'm not hardcore, but I at least, like, have played other games in the series, and I feel like I've taken time to learn some of these things, and I feel like this is the best they've ever done. You might have preferences, right, throughout the years of, like, well, I like 2 better than 3, or I like 4, but
or 2 turbo over 2, or that real dumb shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're always going to have that for sure, but I think that this is the best that they've ever done, just top to bottom. And maybe that's recency bias, maybe it's not, but, you know.
I don't know. I mean, like, Matt, I think I'm on the opposite end for you and I when it comes to, like, you know, fighting games and Street Fighter in general. Like, you're brand new. I would say I'm pretty seasoned, and for me, it's in the top 5. I think this is one of the best they have ever they've done since Third Strike.
Do we put it at the new number 5?
I think I'm happy with it there.
Like above Portal 2?
Yeah, but below Eco.
Yes. I would even put it above Hotline.
Matt?
I will go above Eco. I don't know if I go above Hotline.
I would go above Hotline, but I think that's a preference thing, not necessarily a... But I think, like, a lot of the reasons I was so high on Hotline when we ranked it was its ability to introduce indie games to a new market and make a big swell for a whole... Like, I had a lot of other things carrying Hotline with me, like, that really got the ball rolling for indie games for me, and that what you could do, what you should do, what you can play, what's out there. But I think in the same regard, Street Fighter 6 is that for fighting games. If we do get a Darkstalkers in a couple of years, it's because of Street Fighter 6. But even still, if people pick up Mortal Kombat 1 or Tekken 8 in the next 6 to 8 months, you can't not say that it's, you know, like, I think I got all twisted around there. But yeah, I think a lot of people are going to go from Street Fighter 6 and say, oh, well, maybe now Mortal Kombat will make more sense to me. Or maybe now Tekken, right? Like, I think that this will be...
Yeah, I think I'm more excited for Tekken after playing Street Fighter. I think it's just because I want to fully commit to learning King.
See, right? But, like, that now it's like, you know that it's a... I think the other thing with a lot of these fighting games is always felt something completely unattainable, right? Like, that was always my thing all the way up until 5 when I took the time to sit and practice and whatever, like, just do the same Chun-Li things over and over again. But, like, it just felt like something I'd never be able to do, and then suddenly I'm able to do it. And Street Fighter 6 just does that even more, where people have the ability to. So with that, Matt, did we convince you to go above Hotline?
We can go above Hotline.
Yeah?
We can go above Hotline. I like Hotline a lot. I also like this game a lot, though. Like I said a thing. There is a game. Let me look at my review again. It's called Dota 2. Do you know how much I talked about that game and how much that was like a part of my life, playing it or not playing it, and how I still look forward to TIs every year?
The rapper?
How many times I heard that joke?
I still look forward to making that joke every year because of how much you got into it.
Do we put it above Quake?
No, I stopped there.
I had to hear it. I just had to hear it.
Yeah.
Look, refrigerators are beating the shit out of me in Street Fighter 6 World Tour right now, and I don't know how fun that is over and over again.
Sounds pretty cool to me.
Well, the servers aren't. When the servers come out,
that was. Speaking of servers, that was a problem at launch. You couldn't set up private lobbies with your friends, so we had to play through the Battle Hub.
I was thinking that. I didn't say it out loud because I figured you would know better. Okay, but okay.
I assume it's fixed now. But...
my problem was I just didn't read.
That'll do it.
Could play.
Yeah, I like this game a lot. Out of the gate, it's solid. It's super strong. I'm curious. Maybe at the end of the year, or maybe the end of 2024, when we do one of those annual, let's look at this list and make regrets, or lament regrets. Whatever. I'm curious to see if we feel like this was too high, or I don't know, but. I don't know, like every time I've come back to this list and I look at certain things, like even Sonic Frontiers from earlier this year, I'm like, no, it's still, I think deserves to be top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel good about it. And there it is, Street Fighter 6. The new number 3. Falling short of Quake and Wii Sports. The reigning... Nothing's ever going to topple Wii Sports, is it? Do we have any...
No, there's no way.
Got close.
With Quake?
Yeah, that was the only time we talked about it.
Yeah. Well, shoot.
I know
go for a banger next year then.
I know what it is. The one right smack dab in the middle of October. That's going to be the one.
That's going to be the one?
That's the one, guys. So tune in for that episode.
And you can tune in next week for episode 516, where we will take a break from the list to build another list. It's our second console ranking episode. So come back, hang out with us for that. Get another 10 consoles on the board with us. And wrap out July. Until then, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Wait! Final question. What is your favorite fighting game now after having played Street Fighter 6?
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, ditto. No question.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. See you next week. Bye.